Welcome back to another episode of The Roommates with myself, Cardale Jones, and Tyvis Powell, brought to you by Lettermen Row. Follow those guys out Twitter at Lettermen Row for all your latest and greatest Ohio State news. So, Tyvis, what's up, man? It's been a busy weekend for Ohio State. Definitely recruiting. Had some big recruits in town this past weekend. I think pretty much 18 of their top guys were in town and trying to get a feel for campus and being around. And last year, this time, clearly wasn't allowed to do that. So it's good to have some type of form of normalcy back to recruiting and get ready for the season. And just speaking about recruiting, how big is it? How big do you think it is for recruits to have these type of bonding and gelling atmosphere with other recruits that potentially be playing, any and everywhere for the next 3 or 4 years?
It's everything, because like you say, you're going to be there for the next 4, potentially 5 years. You got to make sure that, it's a family environment. You just got to, it's just like a feeling that you get when you go somewhere and you like, man, like I can see this being home. Like everybody is friendly, people are there to help out. You get the good vibes. It's a feeling that you get. I know when I went, obviously, it was it was different for me. It was like it was a no-brainer. Like when I got there, I had already clicked with Coach Johnson, Tave. Coach Meyer was new there, so I got to meet him for the first time, and he was a real great guy. Coach Mick kind of scared me a little bit, but I could tell like I had the feeling that I'm gonna get better with this guy. Like the way he came at me was like it was intimidating, but it was like, man, I know that you're gonna get me right. And I think when people go to Ohio State, like it was just like they roll out the red carpet for you. It's just like a very home feeling. They make it. I mean, Coach Meyer, when we was there, that's like the number one thing he preached was trying to make it a family atmosphere, and I really felt that.
Yeah, for sure. And then one things that, that these recruits got to understand on their visits, man, for the most part, your visit is not going to always consist of everything you saw on a recruiting trip. The coaches are not going to be as friendly and the environment is not going to be as nice all the time because we know, Columbus on a Saturday night, it can be a hostile environment for both teams just because, our fans are passionate, and you go out and have a bad game and you check your name on Twitter or you walking back to your car and, you might have some hate towards you.
So check your name on Twitter, man.
Yeah, so you might have a little hate towards you, but I think, man, it was so great to have all these guys on campus because, the whole recruiting trips are not just about the university. It's about getting out and seeing the city as well. Yeah. I mean, knowing some of the players on the team now and having an opportunity and randomly just casually bumping into some of the guys out Friday and Saturday night, at dinner or whatever it may be. This common theme kept coming up. Man, it's so real here, and I had no idea Columbus, Ohio was like this because I think about it. We recruiting Ohio State is recruiting all around the country. Yeah. These guys are coming from bigger cities, smaller cities, whatever it may be, and they don't have a real feel from Columbus, Ohio, the city, other than Ohio State Buckeyes. Right. So that's great for those guys to have an opportunity to get out and see if they can see themselves not just attending, the school or the university, but living in Columbus, Ohio. And just thinking about some of the players who come from all around the country and definitely around the state for life after football, they relocate, stay in Columbus, Ohio after school or after their athletic career is over because it's such a great town. It's such a great sporting town. And it's all about the Buckeyes. So I'm glad those guys got a chance to see that, and hopefully those guys that have opportunities to go on other visits with some of the guys they know and things like that. I know Quinn, the number one quarterback in the 2022 class, is coming back up here with his one of his receivers, hopefully to push the envelope, with Ohio State, potentially him getting an offer there, kind of a little package deal. So I think that's pretty cool of him to do. It just shows that that kid is the ultimate team player. Want to bring one of his teammates to college from. That's pretty sweet.
It could be great motivation too. Back when I was in, if I could, I would have brought a younger kid, just to motivate somebody that got talent, but maybe they ain't got their head on straight, maybe
maybe just getting overlooked.
Yeah, something like that. Put them in front of somebody. Did I do mine with you?
I can't remember.
I can't either. I mean, you was a year. I think you was a year older than me anyway, so you probably would have did it before mine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy though, man. I mean, you look at, kind of reflecting on my recruiting time and going to places like, LSU, Ohio State, Penn State, going down south a little bit.
Oh, you took all yours.
I took 4. I didn't take 5.
I took 1.
So I'm definitely against that.
I know you. I'm sure you are, but me, listen. My mind was made up, bro. My mind was made. I didn't even need to see it. I didn't need to see it, bro.
What I tell guys through the recruiting process, and you have younger guys, and I have a nephew who's getting ready to go through that process. Actually, right now is heading up to East Lansing to go to a Michigan State camp. Our high schools, or my former high school, is taking the guys up there, and I'm just like, man, keep an open mind, man. I know everybody got their dream schools and schools they grew up watching and loving and things like that, but going to these places with open mind, and I know it's hard at that young age, but think about life after football. Think about what school could potentially set you up or put you in the best position, or you can make the best context, or that you can network with some of the people who cheer for you, your time in college, and who can probably look out for you on the back end by, pointing you in the right direction or helping you out.
That's crazy. That's crazy you say that, because it's like, now that we done went through it, and now that we, adults, it's kind of like, man, we glad we made the decision. But like, it's hard to get that through somebody that's going like 18, 17, 18-year-old mind. Like this.
I mean, that's hard to do it. Think about when we was in real life Wednesday, sitting there and thinking about we in a position now where, we was, wasn't thinking that the end is close, but you always closer to the end of your career than the beginning. And we took it serious, but it was like, we were about that in 10, 15.
When it's time, right now we try to get to the league.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see, man. So I'm excited for these big name recruits. I'm excited these guys to have a chance to get around the campus or get around some of the former players and see if they gel. And also the recruiting process is also a filling out process for the current players. Because you might be the top player or a highly recruited guy, but me as a current player, I remember when we had to hold certain recruits and things like that. Never going to drop any names, and I was just like, man, I don't know if this guy will make it here. Yeah, he's a baller on the field, but think about everything that consists of being a Ohio State athlete on and off the field. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, some of the guys on recruiting trip, I'm like, man, we'd be getting in trouble for this guy for his extra running or his workout, whatever it may be. Because you look at some guys that might not be accountable, or you think because you used to fill out process, you develop an opinion about a guy, might not be accountable or might be a liability off the field. So you don't want guys like that in your program. And like I said, it's a filling out process for coaches, current players, and the recruits.
Oh yeah, well the host, as in us players that was hosting recruits. I mean, we get the clear, uncut version of the recruit. So we probably have the best idea of what that player or that kid is about. And, it is what it is. People, it is. It's good. It's a good time, though. It's good to see, like, people being loose around you. You get to, they don't want to put on this front. They feel safe with you, that they can let their guard down and be who they really are. And that's a respect thing. Obviously they respect us enough to trust, I should say. They trust us enough to do that.
Yeah, and then vice versa. I mean, like I said, a common theme that I was hearing through the recruits and some of the players I was mentioning about, some of the guys they were hosting, that one, they didn't know Columbus, Ohio was like this, as far as, being such a great city. Two, that, it's so real here. The players are keeping it real. The coaches are keeping it real. Because when the recruiting process, when I had an opportunity to host recruits and stuff and be around recruits, I tell them, hey, if you play, you keep your nose clean. And I was telling them this at a point where I was young in my career and I was still on that immature level. I'm just like, hey, if you
grew out of that?
No, of course not. Anyway, if you do what you have to do here, on and off the field, not saying you have to be the best player in the world and all that stuff, but you keep your nose clean, do what you got to do, you gonna love it here. But if you are one of those players that's a common issue and for a headache for the coaches and players, then you're gonna hate it here.
For sure. They did a great job. They did a great job of making miserable. Like you feel like you're not wanted. If you're not doing anything to help this team out or help the program, it's like, why are you here? Like they do a great job of that. I tell you that right now. That's the thing. I've been on both sides of the fence. Like I'd have been like early on where it was like when I was redshirting, it was like, who is this? Like we don't even really want to be around that guy to, becoming a starter. But it's great motivation though. When they do that to you, it motivates you because it's like you have a choice to make. Like, do I like transfer up out of here, or do I put my head down and just keep chopping wood and try to make myself better, to make myself a better player? And obviously,
but also
the right angle.
Yeah, but also I think I brought that up on the aspect of doing what you have to do off the field before you even have the opportunity to present yourself or put yourself in position where you can see what you really made of on the field. When it comes to just being on time for tutors and class and study table and breakfast club and things like that, those little things translate to bigger issues potentially if you're not taking advantage of them on the field. And
no, they pay attention to that a lot. Yeah, they pay attention
so
to that.
If you like, that was my message to guys, because clearly I couldn't tell nothing about playing so far. I'm like, I don't play, but come here, you might want to be on time for stuff. Yeah, if you come here, you might want to be on time for stuff. But switching gears a little bit, talking about recruiting. So good luck to all those guys through the whole recruiting process. Hopefully, the Buckeyes end up with a handful of those guys to potentially
be nice,
because it's a great group of guys they had in here, and it's clearly, I mean, right now I think the Buckeyes in the top 3 or 4 in the recruiting class of 2022. So, land a few more of those guys to definitely push those guys in the top 2. So we'll see. Like I said, good luck to those guys in the recruiting process. But man, one thing those guys will have an opportunity to do potentially when they get to Ohio State or in any of these major schools they go into is to have an opportunity to play in the college football playoffs. And the biggest news this week about the college football playoffs, they've been thinking about expanding to 12 teams. Nay or yay to the college football playoffs, that they're already not paying these players to extend this to 12 teams. I think the first 4 teams, top 4 teams get a bye, and then 5 play 12 and vice versa, things like that. So what do you think about that?
I think they're doing too much, honestly. I understand that every year it seems like there's some teams that feel like they got left out, but I don't think you need 12 teams to figure that out. Like 6, you could do 6 and that's fine. Like the first 2 get a bye, the bottom 4 play. Like that's fine. But like 12, that's like a whole other season. Like no, like I'm not with that. And it's like, and the sad part is like they really considering it, like really doing it. Like man, y'all need to cut a check or something.
And going to a 12-team playoff system. No matter what. I mean, think about when we had the BCS when 1 played 2. Well, 3 and 4. Well, 3 always complain because, I had just as good enough record and blah, blah, blah. And
now it's going to be 13 and 14 complaining.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never going to be right. Yeah.
Right. 5 and 6. We make a big deal about the 5 and 6, the first 2 out, almost as big as the top 4.
Yeah.
That's how they start the college football final ranking, the playoff show. First 2 out. Like, why are we even talking about that? We're talking about the top 4 teams going to go in a playoff system and play for the national championship game. Now we're going to move it to 12. We're still going to talk about the first 2 out, the 13 and 14 seed.
Yeah.
There's always going to be that team. There's always going to be teams that feel like they, on the outside looking in, it happened to you 2-3 years in a row. You're like, expanded to blah, 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 blah. So I'm opposed to expanding it even to 6. If you even expand it to 6 or more, then you got to cut out some regular season games, because if you continue to add games to the end of the season, now you're cutting off the period of spring ball. Now that turnaround is faster.
So yeah,
correct. So now the players' bodies have less time to recover. Yeah. Now think about so the first 4 teams will get a bye, and then think about 5 through 12. Well, they're going to play X amount of games, and then they're going to play these fresh teams. And now they potentially would be playing 1 or 2 more games than anyone else if they, run the table from the 5 through 12 seed.
Yeah.
So now that window of opportunity, that window of recovery, is shortened dramatically for that team to lead to next season.
Yeah. I mean, it's never going to be right. Like there is no system that's ever I don't think going to be put in play where it's going to be right. Like I said, everybody's going to feel like they got snubbed no matter what you do. Right. I mean, 6 is the furthest I could. I after that.
But you cut off I would say 6, but you got cut off a regular season game.
I take that, as long as it ain't the last one for us. I don't.
No, you would definitely. You would probably cut off like one of the one of the 4 out of conference games, which I'm totally
fine.
okay with. You go with 6 teams and 1 and 2 get a bye.
What we play 15 games when we won the Natty? 12 to be. Yeah, it was 15 games because we did 12
like
12 in the regular season, the Big Ten championship, Sugar Bowl, Natty. That's 15 games.
Yeah,
so you trying to go more than that?
NFL schedule.
That's an NFL schedule.
Yeah, NFL schedule. You ain't paying these guys.
Like
we already know.
Go with a check.
We already know the NCAA is all about benefiting them in their pocket. So clearly, the 12. The 12 teams in a playoff will benefit a lot of teams who are getting snubbed out and have an opportunity to play on a national level, national stage. But it's going to benefit the NCAA more because you're bringing clearly more money. Yeah. So I'm totally against it.
They probably feel some type of way about the players getting paid for their name and likeness and stuff. So they like, well, we gonna get them on this. Get them.
I don't know, man. NCAA has done one thing correct in my personal opinion, other than his name and likeness thing. And I feel like and it's been the transfer portal, because the simple fact of now you put some power. They used to have to sit out a whole year, didn't they? Yeah, you had to sit out a whole year. Coaches can only release you. They release you to certain teams or divisions or conferences and things like that. It's just like, come on, man. But a coach can, one coach that really still bugs me and really rubbed me the wrong way is Jimbo Fisher. Just because of the simple fact.
Like Jimbo?
I don't say I don't like him. I think he's a great coach, but I don't agree with the simple fact of you coaching at Florida State. Maybe get stuck with 1 or 2 bad recruiting classes, but these are guys that you vented. These are guys that you did not develop. These are guys that you sat in these parents' homes and told them, hey, we're going to do this, and for your kid, and it didn't happen. And you completely jumped ship, leaving that program the way it is right now.
He did do that.
Take over a A&M team that was up on the up and coming. And now you have more resources. Now you have now you're getting paid more money. But your last 2 years prior to that, just been, pretty much a down year to your standards and to the history of Florida State standards. But you can leave these guys there. They continue to get crushed, going through coaches, going through different players. And you can just walk into a program that was already soaring and nothing happens to you. You don't have to sit out a year. You don't have to take a pay cut, nothing like that. But if a player want to do that, the media is going to attack him. Oh, man, he's scared of competition. He's scared of this. He's scared of that. He's getting beat out. He's not nothing. But if a coach want to do it, he's taking a better opportunity. Yeah. This is a test for him. Let's see if he can really do it on this level.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you got to be kidding me.
You ain't wrong.
Yeah. So you got to be kidding me. So I'm going to applaud the NCAA. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going to applaud the NCAA for the transfer portal.
Is they that bad? NCAA that bad?
I just think I think it's tough, man. I just think it's tough.
About $1, huh? They put money over the athlete.
For sure. When it comes to but yeah, of course they put money over the athlete. I mean, think about the NCAA tournament bubble this past year with the boys stuff versus the girls stuff. It's like, yeah, our big money seller is the boys tournament. Boom, let's invest in them. But the girls tournament is not as important. NCAA, that's what you're telling us. Did you see their weight room? They did four little dumbbells, and then the boys and girls was comparing swag. But don't get me wrong, like it's a double-edged sword because Ohio State, a lot of that new stuff is going up. A lot of those teams on players on other teams, other sports are benefiting from clearly the football program because that's where the money is going into. But okay, so divided equally into the other sports, which I agree with. But the NCAA should do that as well when it comes to the men's and the women's basketball. Like that was just horrible the way they did the women's basketball.
Yeah,
like godly.
I mean, you 100% correct. I mean, I will always think that you would do what's best for the athletes. I mean, you should take care of what's bringing your money in. Like that should be number one priority on your list to make sure that they are good. But
yeah, for sure. For sure.
I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm just a guy, a former. I would love to be
athlete. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when the NCAA decision makers are making so many decisions. Like, hey, let's get the boys all this stuff, especially let's get the boys all this stuff in this great swag bag. Let's get the girls this. Let's get the boys this great meal every day.
Yeah,
let's get the girls this. Like,
I don't know why they even thought that would be like cool. Like, I don't know. It's kind of sad actually, but transitioning, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I guess, touchy.
Man. Well, we'll see, man. The Buckeyes kick off in less than 90 days, so excited for that. As we get closer, we have some more Buckeye scoop, and as these guys get ready for camp and things like that. But I guess we can stay on a little bit of basketball. Your Greek freak, your Milwaukee Bucks are down 2-0 to my official. Oh no, bandwagon here, bandwagon me. I bandwagon this shit. I bandwagon this shit. It's okay.
Gosh.
It's okay to bandwagon if you admit it.
No, it ain't. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Whoever told you that is lying. Why? Where's loyalty at? Where's loyalty?
To who? I don't have a team in the playoffs. I didn't have a team all year until the Brooklyn start smacking people.
So now you just go jump on the ship. Listen.
Yes.
Listen. Wait a minute.
It's room on the ship.
Can I get the floor for a second? Give me a second. I need to talk to America.
Okay, stand up.
Let me talk to America on this one. All right. I stood there before this series started. I said Bucks and 6. Okay. That's what I said. Okay. I, as a man, as a real man, I have no choice but to stand on what I said. And I still believe the Bucks will win in 6. You know why? Because if you go back, this ain't got nothing to do with Ohio State and anything. But this is this is just the facts. You can check me if I'm wrong. They've played each other 3 times in the regular season, 2 times in the playoffs so far. Every home team has won the game. So listen, they back in Milwaukee now. So they got the energy. The 3 should be flying. They gonna play some team ball and they gonna figure it out, bro. They're not gonna run away from the problem. They gonna run straight through the wall. All right, we gonna figure this out. Okay, somebody got to step up. You crazy if you think they gonna continue to not play well, especially at home. Like there's no way. Well, I guess we're gonna find out though. Like Bucks and 6. If it's gonna happen, they're gonna shock the world. Y'all gonna call me a prophet when this happens. Y'all gonna be like, man, Tyvis know what he talking about. I'm just saying.
Tyvis, they got 3 guys.
I don't care what they got.
Is combining for over 90 points. What
do you mean? So
90 points.
This is a
90
5.
points.
Listen, this is a team sport.
That's what I'm saying.
It's 5 players.
90
so they need
the other 6 go give them.
So they need 5 players to beat the 3 players.
Listen,
it can be done.
Tyvis, if my 3 keep giving me 90, I just need my other 6 give me 5. Give me 5. We won. Give me 5. Give me 5.
Listen,
give me 5 apiece. We won.
It's time for players to step up, bro. You gotta step up. Okay,
I'm gonna ask the other 6.
So let me ask you.
Listen. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what you ask your players to step up. I'm gonna ask my other 6 to step up. Guess what I'm gonna ask them now. Give me 6. Y'all give me 6 apiece. Y'all give me 6 apiece. Y'all stepped up. We won.
First of all, I don't know if James Harden is playing anyways.
Okay. Well, guess what?
So now you down to 60. 65. Now you down to 60 points.
65-70.
Whatever.
65-70.
That's fine.
Bron and Kyrie together one game score 42. You think Kyrie and KD can't do that?
Listen, like I say, bro, it's a team game. Y'all. That's what you young, bro. You young minded. You young. All you think about is threes and scoring. It's a defense to this thing, bro. Like
ain't no defense for a good shot. You do whatever you want. Listen,
defense don't win championships no more.
No. If I'm putting the ball in the hole, I don't care what type of good defense you play.
You know what, Cardale? You about 2 years older than me, but you young as hell, boy.
Listen. Whatever, man. Because I got the Nets in this thing 5.
So we go get one. That's what you said.
Y'all might get one at home because the Nets want to. Let me tell you why I didn't get one at home, because we want to end it on our court. We want to go party with Jay-Z and them on the sideline. We want to go party with Jay-Z.
It's going to be a sad day, man, when it goes 6 games and they partying in Milwaukee.
Yeah, whatever.
They move on. They get past them. They should win the championship. For sure.
Whatever. We'll see, man. Thanks for joining us for another week of Roommates with myself, Cardale Jones, Tyvis, Powell, brought to you by Lettermen Row. Follow those guys over at Twitter for all your latest and greatest Ohio State news and updates. Go Bucks. Catch you guys next week.